Alrighty, yo, what is going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. DDG94 here, back with another reaction video. Today, we finna react to characters that piss me off. This should be an interesting video. And look who's here first. Mary Jane. Oh boy, should be a good. This should be an interesting video. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
I'm not gonna make that mistake again. Mary Jane, will you marry me?
Boy, it's out the mud. We got Rashad McCown.
Now, I've spoken many times on this channel about a bunch of different types of topics around entertainment. How movies and cartoons made me a better man, how video games gave wonder and amusement to my childhood, and how I could relate to certain characters and try to model myself around them to be a lot more like them. I think this is a universal feeling a majority of us can get behind, because in TV, it wasn't just about the story, the fights, the gameplay, or even the drip. It was also about the characters and how cool they were, how they carried themselves, how they could make a serious situation that they couldn't win at first, an instant win for them and something they could laugh about later. It's something I believe we all admired about TV. And as much of these characters were great role models, had deep lore, or cool as hell, or just had broken transformations, a lot of these characters would get me furious. And no, people, I don't mean regular angry like you hate seeing them on screen. Nah, I'm talking about the level of hate I would have for them would be so bad I couldn't eat when I would see them on screen. Angry I would have to be to leave my food out to get cold just because I saw you come on my TV. I would have to be Super Saiyan levels of angry. I'd have to be just as mad as when Gon found out Pitou killed Kai. As pressed as when I found out the minimum car payment at my local corner shop is £5. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a couple of months since I last spoke about characters that have pissed me off. And today, I thought we could go over some more assholes that I despise and hold the biggest hate for. And this will be perfect to talk about now since my blood pressure is mad high. I'm probably gonna pass out doing this, I'm not gonna lie. So with the pre-yapping done, let us begin. Starting with one of the most insufferable people I've ever seen in my life. So stupid, so unbelievable trash, so degrading. Their existence just gets me pressed, man. That guy I am speaking about is Chris Thorndyke from Sonic X. And you know Chris is a giant piece of shit. This guy sucks. See, Chris was an attempt to make the human characters more relevant, but they made Chris such an important guy in the story. He became Sonic's number 2 instead of Tails, literally taking away more from the guy who's supposed to have just as much screen time as the main man himself. But they took it away from him. This shit is trash. Chris is a selfish, stupid child who does nothing but whine constantly, cry like a little bitch, and sucks up to Sonic so hard that it literally hurt my brain when I was a kid watching this shit. Even then, I thought he was so desperate for Sonic's approval and affection, begging to be alongside this guy at all times. You can even tell Chris was about.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Chris always came off like a pussy to me. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Chris always came off like a pussy to me. Like, dog, do you have any backbone whatsoever? Like, dog, he used to piss me off so much.
To be a weirdo when he saved Sonic from the pool of water in the first episode, and look how bro was gazing at him, giving him that light skin stare like he just saw fine shit. It was at this moment when I realized he was about to become some strange kid. If you're not familiar with Chris, let me give you some context real quick. Chris is the main human in Sonic X, whose whole character arc revolves around him being somebody who has attachment issues since he was neglected as a child by his parents. His mom is a big Hollywood actress and his dad is a big time CEO. And big what? This guy was rich, he had all the cash money. He lived in a giant mansion, had a butler, had a maid, his granddad lived with him. He had plenty of people around him. So the whole idea that Chris was some lonely kid with no one to show him love or even to be there for him is one giant goddamn bitch ass lie. The guy's chatting shit. He's just selfish. It's not like his parents don't want to be there for him. They had to compromise, work, slave away so that Chris could have the best possible life. It's not even that his parents didn't want to come see him. It's just that life is hard. They felt bad enough as parents that they couldn't be there for their own son, but they had to. Or else how long would their rich life where they could give Chris anything he wants hold up? And he never realized how fortunate he was to have any of this to begin with. My nigga went to a normal elementary school. Shit, he was probably pulling up in a Lamborghini. And he would never see or realize the difference in life he had to those who had less than him. And even if it's normal to him as standard procedure, Chris could never see how much of a blessing he had compared to those who were less fortunate than him. I would go as far as to say he had no crushes in life, and for a 12-year-old, he sucked. This shit was so bad that Cream, the flipping 6-year-old of the group, called him out on his bullshit. And Cream's mom isn't even there. She's in a whole other dimension. Yet Cream is happy and glad since she's got people around her. Yet Chris fails to acknowledge anyone around him and plays victim. But this guy, man, Tanaka, Ella, and his flipping granddad Chuck were there for him. Spoke to him a bunch of times, practically raised him and cherished him as if they were his actual parents. Yet Chris would still be acting like he had nobody. He had friends, a flipping girlfriend, and he still thought he was alone and had nobody. I was so afraid of this shit happening. Even though he had people, after all the adventures and bullshit him and Sonic and the man they went through, this guy closed the port on Sonic, preventing him on going home, which could have messed up time, just because he was afraid of being alone again, when he wasn't even alone. Bro, get over it. I don't think any 12-year-old would act like this. They would be too busy buying the stupidest shit with their parents' money. They would be boiling in happiness because of all the materialistic shit they would buy. But Chris is trash. They also forced this guy into the story, making him take key moments away from certain characters from the games, like in Sonic Adventure 2, when Amy is the one to help Shadow remember what Maria's promise was. Instead of it being Amy in the show, it was Chris, and he was whining to this guy to get his point across. It just ruined it. I just don't like this guy. And even after he kidnapped
Hey, yo.
Sonic can reflect on why he thought he was gonna be alone and deal with it. To be okay with Sonic going and to eventually become a scientist, have better friendships, and all in all, he just looked a lot better here. This guy's still obsessed over his animal friends so badly. He built the same portal used to take them home, which could have messed up both their worlds the first time. And this isn't even the worst thing about it. The saddest thing about this, after the whole Metarex arc, R.I.P. Cosmo, man, I hear you, Tails, man. I was crying at this shit. This shit had me weeping. Eggman then builds Chris a machine to send him back, but there's one problem. They wouldn't be able to know how old or how different Chris's life would be when he would go back to Earth. See, when Chris built the portal to Sonic's world, it made him a 12-year-old again. And in his world at the time when he was making the machine, he was 18. So if you were to flip that and send a 12-year-old Chris, who's actually 18 in his world, but it's been a year on Sonic's world, how different could his world look? And the answer to that is that shit is probably post-apocalyptic. This man sacrificed everything to go to Sonic's world that he may or may not have a world to go back to. We don't know how different it could look. We don't even know if Chris will be the same age. He could be some old-ass man or almost dead when he goes back. This guy, when he was a grown-ass man, was still so hungry to get back to Sonic. He may have no life to go back to. At this point, you should have never left, you mug. I don't rate Chris. His whole character arc makes no sense. The writers made him so we can relate to him. But what's there to relate to? He lives in a Barbie dream house. He's a rich kid. He contributes nothing to the story besides whining, begging to be involved, and replacing characters at moments where he didn't have to. And if you ask me, we should have made Helen the main human in Sonic X. That would have made more sense. And one more thing. Bum Chris, man. Mary Jane. Now, I'm gonna summarize her in one sentence. Fuck Mary Jane. Lord, I hate Mary Jane. This manipulative, conniving scumbag literally moves like a free agent, trying to talk to all the men in the Spider-Man movies, just to always make a play back to Peter. Get out of here with that shit, you
They always gotta make sure that Mary Jane is the most, like, even Zendaya Mary Jane had to be. I don't remember. I don't love you. I don't even remember you. I was like, damn, my boy, you going outside, my boy. When she said that, I was like,
Boy, it's out the mud. We got Rashad McCown.
He's 81.
He's 81.
that boy shot his shot and airball like a motherfucker.
Is Bush getting the ball out? Jim Cole, plenty of time. 3 point.
No, nigga. No. 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 Nigga. No.
But anyways, though.
Home record. We're all familiar with the antics Mary Jane has committed throughout the Sam Raimi trilogy. She's a demon. So let me go ahead and summarize all the worst Mary Jane has done, breaking the hearts of many men, and just being straight up for the streets. We first see Mary Jane's behavior as Spider-Man. We first see her stop the bus for Peter. And what a nice thing to do. This is all kind of what a good human, man. A real quick off topic here, as Peter's walking through the bus, how is this girl not letting him sit next to her? What the hell? Y'all look the same. But as Peter walks down the bus, you just see Mary Jane with her boyfriend at the time, Flash, aka the high school boy, which immediately eliminates any kind thing she ever does. I mean, this guy tried to beat the shit out of Peter, but throughout the entire movie, she just endlessly tries to play a pass at him, flirting with him time and time again, teasing him, making him believe he's got a chance, and then she finally breaks up with Flash to get with Harry. And Harry did Peter dirty here. Whatever happened to bro code? He literally had the start of the movie copy and pasted the exact same facts Peter gave to him about spiders over to MJ, just so he could spit some game. He even wanted Peter to speak to her before he got bit by a spider, but he took the opportunity himself. What an ass, bro. This guy's fake. But while they're dating, Peter pulls up to MJ's place of work and they agree to have coffee sometime. But then she says, don't tell Harry. And that's a bit suspicious. Why wouldn't you want your boyfriend to know you're out here trying to get coffee with some other man? That's a bit sus. Well, it's because Mary Jane never liked Harry. I mean, look at the way she swerves him on this kiss. She did not rate him. And then Spider-Man eventually saves her, and she gets that look in her eyes. She was mesmerized by this guy, even saying, wait, who are you?
Mitch, baby, love the Mitch.
So Spider-Man swings away and Mary Jane is on the phone with Harry, just glazing Spider-Man, gassing him up. And rightfully so. You know, she was starstruck. She almost lost her life. It's not like she would... Mary Jane's a cheater, man. First of all, she's cheating on Harry. Second of all, you don't even know who this is. Peter Parker, Jameson, the chicken. Like, you don't know who's behind the mask. So you're just kissing a stranger for all you know. You could even be kissing the booty warrior. That's nasty, man. Come on. Anyways, later on after the dinner, Mr. Osborn, this is Mary Jane. And Harry has no spine that doesn't defend her. Then she's still trying to make a pass at Peter, literally pulling up to his Aunt May in the hospital. And look at how she's staring at him like she wants him, bro. She's staring into his soul. And she's really listening to him. Then Norman dies, and at his funeral, Mary Jane says he loves him and kisses him at his best friend's dad's funeral. What is wrong with you, bro? There's a time and place you flipping. Okay, so when Spider-Man does, Peter's life is getting pretty hard. He lost his pizza job, isn't getting paid enough from the Bugle, and he's missing his university classes, you know, typical Spider-Man stuff. And Mary Jane is still trying to play a boss at him, but she's finally single now. So go for it, man. What's the worst that could...
I'm seeing somebody now.
You mean like a boyfriend?
Well, like I like him.
She belongs to the street.
What? You just flirted with him a second ago. Like, I'm very certain you wanted him to kiss you. How the f do you announce you have a boyfriend after this whole conversation? What's wrong with you? Later on, Peter then gets advice from Doc Ock and gets into his romantic bag to try and win MJ over. Learns some poetry, dresses up in a nice suit, and gets some flowers for MJ theater play. It was gonna be amazing. Then Peter had to go on some Spider-Man shit. You know, he had to go be a hero. Like, what's the worst that could...
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want you all to know that the beautiful Miss Mary Jane Watson has just agreed to marry me.
She belongs to the street.
Oh, come on! To be fair though, Mary Jane did have a reason to be angry at Peter. To her, he was just a regular man. And when he agreed to come to her show, she expected him to commit and actually pull up. You could even see she was upset when there was an empty chair there instead of Peter. But at this moment and earlier, she didn't know Peter was Spider-Man. So in her head, she probably thinks he's just skipping out, which is fair enough. It made sense to her. But as the movie goes on, shenanigans go down. Peter loses his powers, gives up being Spider-Man, pulls up to MJ's play. Harry works alongside Doc Ock to kill Spider-Man. Mary Jane being Spider-Man with recreating the same exact kiss they had in the first movie. You know, typical stuff, the usual. Later on, MJ and Peter meet up and start chopping it up, having a normal conversation about feelings. And Peter saying he doesn't love her anymore, which is great since Mary Jane rejected him and she's getting married and...
Kiss me.
What? What do you mean kiss him? You're getting married. You rejected him twice. How did you switch up already? Your ring, your wedding ring is literally in the scene. You're wearing your ring. You're asking another man to kiss you, bro. Make your mind up. Then after she gets kidnapped, Peter gets his powers back, Vanessa's Dr. Octavius, and eventually reveals himself to MJ. And she asks the guy to confess to him whilst he's holding a whole goddamn building. Like, move out of the way, bro. So Spider-Man saves Mary Jane, and it's the day of her wedding. Birds chirping, sun shining. It's in a church. It's perfect, right? And then Mary Jane leaves her husband on the altar. Like, damn, man, I don't wish it for my worst enemy. This is a villain origin story in itself. This is what leads most bad guys to becoming bad guys. This is messed up. So she runs all the way from the church to Peter's crypt to tell her that she wants to be with him. And then we segue into... So in
Man, fuck Mary Jane. She belonged to the streets, bro. Mary Jane belonged to the streets where Peter should have left her ass.
She belongs to the streets.
Spider-Man 2, Mary Jane and Peter are finally together. It's beautiful. It's like a Disney movie. It was perfect. Except it wasn't like a Disney movie. Mary Jane was hating. She was looking for an excuse to get out of the relationship with Peter for the longest time. She low-key couldn't be happy for him. Everything was going so bad in her life, she had to project it to Peter. And when he kissed Gwen Stacy and Spider-Man, that straight up became her trump card. She got mad at Peter kissing another woman I was just arguing throughout the whole day. And I agree with it to an extent. I mean, if your girl was kissing another man, you'd be pressed too. Only Mary Jane is a hypocrite. She's literally a cheater. I ain't going back because she's a heifer. She then storms out on their date and later on breaks up with Peter. For who you may ask, Harry Osborn. And this is just wrong, man. How does this even come about? You suck. And I'm gonna put my hands up when I say this as well. Peter was also moving like a weirdo in this movie. We can't skip the fact that he did cheat on Mary Jane when he kissed Gwen at the parade. But also he was moving mad petty when they broke up. Like he pulled up to MJ's job, asked Gwen out on a date just to show off to MJ. Shit, he even slapped her. He was going crazy here. So as we reach the end of the movie, peaceful shit happens. Peter forgives Flynn for packing Uncle Ben. Eddie blows himself up, and Harry dies. And then Peter and MJ share one final scene hugging, and the movie ends. And hopefully this is the end of their relationship because it was horrible. Mary Jane would always have Peter as a number one, but never be real with that. He would always have to do more to get with her than actually be with her. She almost married a whole other guy, and she deserted him on his wedding day. She broke up with Peter for Harry and got Peter so worked up he went over to Harry just to box with the guy. Like, if we're being for real, she's partially the reason why Harry's face got mashed up. There was so much red flags with MJ. How could Peter not see anything besides her being toxic? I don't get it. What was so special about movie MJ? Peter, you wear glasses. How can you not see any of this shit, man? From jump, when she go with Harry, that should have been enough for you to check out what you doing. But Mary Jane isn't the only superhero girlfriend who's toxic. All superhero girlfriends are toxic. Amber from Invincible literally knew that Mark was a superhero. That means every time he would disappear and desert her, she knew he was doing something good. Yet at the same time, she acts like she was entitled to know he was a superhero. What part of secret identity do you not understand? She was saying she felt unimportant and the fact that he didn't tell her he was a superhero. That's like Hero 101. She's smart enough to figure out Mark is invincible, but too stupid to think that if she knew who he was, her life would be in danger. You're an idiot. You're so stupid. What's the matter with you? Lois Lane in My Adventure with Superman does the exact same shit. And to get Clark to admit he's Superman, she jumped off the roof of a building. God forbid she went off her own theory she put together. What if Clark was a Superman? You'd be dead. Then she goes on to argue and have no good points. She was gonna bail out Superman, and again, secret identities are meant to be secret. Where's the same thinking you put into figuring out who they are? You man are dumb. I hate Mary Jane. I don't even like her. Even Insomniac Spider-Man Mary Jane is a wet wipe. She acts like she can hold her own. You're literally a civilian, bro. Go home. Also, the MJ mission sucked ass. They were whack. Now, one more thing. Screw MJ. DW from Arthur. Now, let's just cut this shit. DW is a...
man. DW from Arthur is the worst. She the worst. She right there with Caillou. Her and Caillou is neck and neck. DW and Caillou are neck and neck with each other. Fuck both of them, by the way. Fuck DW and fuck Caillou.
Demon Kid. When I was a child watching Arthur back in the day, I swear to God, DW was so annoying. She used to get me heated, man. And I don't care if she was just 4. She was a very self-aware 4-year-old. She was straight up evil. When her baby sister was just bored, she started screaming right at her. She constantly made shit worse around her and refused to let anybody who actually knows what to do help her because she thought she knew what the hell she was doing. She tried to sell her baby sister for 50 cents to get rid of her. And by the end of all of her attempts to try and get rid of the baby, she decided to just leave the house. Greatest decision she ever made. Go to her grandma's, emotionally manipulate her to get her to rent a boat out to an island just so she could leave forever. And it wasn't until her grandma started saying to her, but DW, your sister's gonna need a role model. She needs someone to look up to. That DW decided to run all the way back to the crib and actually be a better sister. Just for what? To get a mini-me. All of this for what? For your own ego, you sicko. How many times has DW been a prick to Arthur and everybody else in the show? From the countless times she would try to undermine him, to even whole episodes dedicated to just being a hater. There's an episode where DW loses her voice and thank God, no more chatting shit, no more talking crazy, finally some peace. And then Arthur becomes forced to do everything she points out because she can't speak, literally making her personal slave. But the problem here is that she was faking having no voice voice the entire time. So when Arthur goes to tell his mom DW is capping, she don't believe him. And trust me here when I say this, throughout the entire show, every single time DW does some menace shit, does something horrible, or even something she should definitely be punished for, her parents would never do shit. They would have the audacity to punish Arthur constantly and make sure he was held accountable for any mistake he made. But as soon as DW would get caught, nothing would happen to her. This is some bullshit, man. It took Arthur convincing Francine, who's just as much as a prick, to help him bait out DW for lying. And even though Arthur got DW baited, he still lost it because it meant DW would start speaking again. We can't win here, man. Oh my days. DW is a sociopath. She was out here swearing, harassing. She publicly embarrassed her family at a restaurant, dashing spinach onto a worker just because she hates spinach. One time she was in a bad mood, and the only way she came out of it was when she had a revenge fantasy of taking color out of the world and the people that didn't invite her to a birthday party. This child is a psycho. But you know who was worse than DW one time? Cousin Cora. Now, Cousin Cora only appeared once, but she was basically DW 2.0. She was just as much an ass. She was so disrespectful, it made me feel bad for DW. She was a guest in a whole different house. I was chatting shit saying she doesn't like the room and was blaming DW for breaking her necklace. And DW didn't break her necklace, but her mom didn't defend her from said accusation. What type of parent are you? You're trash. But you know what Arthur episode made me the happiest man in the world? You know what brought stars to my eyes and as a child made me an all-round more happy guy? I'll tell you. There's an episode where Arthur gets a model plane and spends some time building it. And once he's fixing it up, DW just taking the piss out of him, being in his business, trying to sabotage his model plane. And after a hard week of painting, engineering, and designing, he finally finished the model plane. And then DW dashed out a window. So as soon as Arthur found out DW broke his model plane, he spent a week working on it. Arthur achieved one of the greatest goals that Earth has ever seen. Something more important than any historical discovery. Something more important than global peace. Something more great than life itself. Arthur punched DW. And all I have to say to this is you should have gone for the head. I celebrated him punching DW. She had it coming. This is like a top 3 goal in life. First is beating J. Cole. Second is beating MJ in a 1v1. And right next to it was watching Arthur punch DW. This was amazing. So like the crybaby she is, she runs straight back into the house to tell her parents. And without even hearing Arthur about anything that happened before he even punched her, they grounded him. And even by the end of the episode when Vicky punches Arthur, his parents are trying to look at this as a teachable moment. Where's the parenting? This is some crap. This is a lie, man. One punch was somebody overstepping a boundary. The other was somebody getting bullied. Tell the difference. Even when they resolve their conflict, DW doesn't even give a good enough apology to Arthur. She didn't give a shit. And their parents didn't do anything to DW. She got off rent-free. That's some bullshit. I can't tell you how infuriating as an older brother or cousin moments like these were as kids. I'm not joking. It's like the younger you were, you could do no wrong. Parents will be out here blaming their kids while fighting back if the other one is doing too much and hide behind saying they're a baby. No, they're not. 7 is not a baby, bro. Stop coddling them, man. That's just you playing favorites. If you can hate Caillou, one of the
Exactly. Once my siblings was old enough to walk and talk, you was able to get punched in your fucking chest. It's the principle of it, bro. Nah, bro. Nah. You gonna get punched in your chest. I don't give a fuck. Fuck all that bullshit. Talk about son. She's just a baby. They just a baby. You can't be being mean to your brothers and say shit.
Boy, it's out the mud. We got Rashad McCown.
Kobe's 81. Kobe's 81.
Shit, you got me fucked up. I'ma beat the fuck out of my siblings because I need to establish dominance. I'm the oldest, okay? In my family, I'm the oldest. I'm the firstborn, okay? So as far as I'm concerned, I run this shit. My mama pay the bills, but I run this shit. Don't get it twisted, nigga. I'll punch you in your fucking chest. I was that type of brother, bro. I had to establish dominance. I had to let you know who the fuck I was, bro.
biggest crybaby, suck up, bummy children cartoon characters of all time. You can find DW just as annoying. She's evil, man. She's evil. I will admit though, DW was kind of a savage. Her comebacks were sick for a 4-year-old. They were fire. I recognize game, man. I see it. But hey, these were some more characters that definitely pissed me off. If you man got any more or disagree with the ones I've mentioned in this video, let me know in the comments below. I appreciate all you man for tuning in. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one. And one more thing.
Alrighty, man. That's just gonna about do it for this one, man. Most definitely, man. Fuck DW. Fuck Mary Jane. I don't really hate Chris. I just think he a pussy. But other than that, though, man, that's just gonna about do it for this one. I'll see y'all the next video. Till then, deuces.